Everyone. Hi, everyone. This is Michelle Gramolia. I am the president and CEO here at Woodland Pond at New Paltz, working remotely today. Today is Tuesday, February 8th, and this is my 12 o'clock broadcast. This will be available for re-airing at 4 o'clock today and at 8 o'clock today on our YouTube or on our Woodland Pond television channel, and as well on our YouTube channel. So I have a couple of things that I wanted to cover today, and then I will be back in the office the remainder of the week. So if you have any questions on anything or anything you'd like to talk to me about, you know where to find me. So first and foremost, I do just want to report that we do have an independent living resident that tested positive for COVID. She's totally asymptomatic and she feels great, but she was going to visit a family member and they had requested a pre-visit COVID test, and she did come back positive. Very, very common. We are seeing this, all the time with, the Omicron variant and other things. So it's not atypical that someone could be carrying COVID and have no symptoms, but she's doing fine. So again, it's another step in us learning sort of how to live with this. We have asked her to quarantine for the 5 days and let us know if any symptoms develop. But right now she is symptom free and we don't have any other concerns. We have no symptomatic residents on campus at all. We have no other positive residents or any suspected cases. So that's where we're at with COVID. The next thing that I want to talk about, and that will be the focus of the next several minutes of my my address here today, is really to discuss emergency prep. So I have said repeatedly over the last several months that it's absolutely imperative that everyone be aware that independent living is not on emergency power. There are areas of the common buildings, so the community building, that are on emergency power, and the health center is on emergency power, but independent living is not. We have very rarely, if ever, lost power for any sort of an extended period of time. I think once we had an outage for 4 hours, and that's in 12 years. So we've been extremely fortunate, and the lines that run into Woodland Pond tend to be very reliable, knock on wood. We are extremely fortunate that we did not lose power when, so much of Ulster County did with this terrible storm. People's lives have just been totally upended. And I think it's absolutely critical that every resident and the families of the residents stop and think today, what would my life have been if I had lost power for 4 days? Because we've got plenty of people that have just gotten their power back after 3 full days, going on 4 days. What would I be missing? What would I have needed? What do I not have that I would need? So you should prepare yourselves for, extended power outages, even though they don't happen here typically. Basic things like having a battery powered light source and batteries that you know where all of those things are. I always recommend to have them and put them underneath your kitchen sink or bathroom sink so that you know exactly where to find them. We can help you order something if you need, but having that power access is critical. Also, if you have, medications, you want to make sure that you've got medication supply going into a storm, or that you always have plenty of days worth of medications on hand, at least 5 days worth. Don't let your supplies get below 5 days. Obviously, potable water, a case of bottled water, very important. Food that you can consume without needing to heat it up or keep refrigerated. So things in your cupboard, very important. And, most importantly, if you are a resident in independent living that relies on power for life-saving means, so if you have an oxygen concentrator or a CPAP or a BiPAP machine or another machine that you need that has to be an electric in order to, keep your life going, we need to know that. So we do keep a list at concierge of all of those people. So, when we become aware of it, we add you to that list. But if you are on, any of those types of devices and you would need them in the event of an emergency, we have to know that. So please do contact concierge and make sure that your name is on that list. The final thing related to that aspect of storm prep is if you are a resident in independent living that cannot ascend or descend a set of stairs and you would need to in order to get outside in the event of an emergency evacuation with no elevators, we need to know that. So if you don't know if you can do stairs, and that means scooting on your bottom. But if you can't even scoot on your bottom to get out of stairs or climb a set of stairs to get out, and you would need to, with assistance of the fire department or the emergency responders, we need to know that as well. So please do contact concierge and let them know if you don't think you can do the stairs. And we will, again, include you on that emergency list. We keep that right at the front desk. So if there's any kind of an emergency, we can refer to that and get resources deployed ASAP. But please, 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 have an emergency supply ready. Have it in a place where you know where it is. Again, medications, bottled water, food that doesn't have to be refrigerated or heated up. The basics, just as if you were in your primary residence at home, because it can happen. Again, we've been very fortunate, and I'm going to knock on wood again, but we have to be prepared. So that's that aspect of storm related prep. The next aspect, and this relates to what's going to happen now, or some of the things that have been happening. So one of the things that we see in the Northeast is ice can happen, snow can happen, and it obviously has. We've had both this winter, but what we also see, and we're going to see that today for sure, is we're going to see a melt off. And so melt off happens during the day, and the melt off process is completely unpredictable in terms of exactly how melt off is going to flow. So although we do have areas that commonly will see a melt off and then potentially refreeze at night, it could happen anywhere on campus. So anywhere where there's snow or ice could melt during the day, be a wet situation, and then at the cold at nighttime refreeze. And we expect that to happen now 100%. So tonight is going to be very icy. Tomorrow morning is going to be very icy. So as nice as it is that it's milder out today, and most of the sidewalks and so forth should be passable, there is going to be a refreeze, and we cannot predict where that ice is going to refreeze. So we need everyone to be on alert and contact concierge right away if you see an icy condition, because we can't be everywhere at once. We don't park in every parking spot. We don't, walk the property, over the night and in the morning, unless we have, a dispatch to go somewhere. Oftentimes you're seeing a condition before we are. Like, for example, if you live at a cottage, you might see ice on your sidewalk and we've had no reason to go there. We need you to call concierge. You should assume we have not seen it, and you've got to call concierge and put a work order in. We want to get the resources deployed to de-ice the community when we need to, but we can't see it all the time. So please wear sensible shoes, footwear, proceed very carefully, take very careful steps. Make sure that if you use an assistive device that it's on sure footing before you bear any weight onto it. We live in the Northeast. We can't prevent or, inhibit snow and ice from happening, but there are things that we can individually and as a community do to make sure that we're treating the ice that we see. But we need to know that it's there, and then always keep in mind, gosh, I could slip. Let me make sure that my footing is right here. So that's a note on that. The next thing related to storm prep, and this is very, very important, and we have been seeing issues with this for the last 2 weeks. We have a lot of you that are not starting your cars regularly, and it's causing significant issues when we need to move vehicles to clear for ice and snow. So you should be making yourself a calendar note to go out and start your car, especially we've had, sub-zero temperatures multiple times in the last few weeks. All of those things are very hard on car batteries. We really need you to kind of get out there and to be, starting your cars and running them for 5 minutes or so, and if you can't do it, we will do it for you. We need you to call concierge. We will start your car for you once a week. They should not be sitting there, and it's causing issues because when we have to actually move the cars to properly and adequately remove snow or ice, the cars are not starting. And then we're having situations where we're having to find means to try to jump cars, and sometimes that's not even working because the batteries are so far, emptied or not working, not charged. So please get out there and please make yourself a note on your calendar. Start your car once a week while it's cold, or call us and we will do that for you. But we need everybody's help here, so please do that. If you have any questions, you can call concierge and they can let you know. So the next thing I want to talk about or mention is I heard that the Art Scope event was wonderful last night. I was still traveling. I traveled to Disney with my daughter's dance team, so we were still traveling last evening. But I heard it was great. So thank you very much to the Art Scope committee and to all of the residents that enjoyed that. Just another type of thing that gets us back to feeling like the old Woodland Pond again. So that's great. And we've got more Art Scope events that are in the work. So if you haven't been to those events, you definitely should get out there and attend those when they're on the calendar. Um, and the big news of the week is that our general manager of dining services, Amy McIntyre, has started at the community. So we are obviously she's new to Sodexo. She's coming to us not from the Sodexo team, so she's new to Sodexo, new Sodexo employee, but obviously also new to Woodland Pond. So she's going to need some weeks, months to get her feet under her, and we're very excited to have Amy here. She and Will, our interim general manager, and Rebecca, who is the district manager, will work with our team closely to kind of get her going. She's going to need patience. There's a lot to do. She's obviously going to work with Chef Mike and Susan, the dietitian, and our whole team to, address the concerns that you've let us know about in the satisfaction surveys, sort of address some of the changes that have happened with supply and staffing and so forth during COVID. There's a lot to do, but now we've got the person in place to do that. So if you see Amy, go ahead and say hi to her. She'll be all around the community, out in the coming weeks, here with us full time. So we're thrilled that Amy started yesterday, and we look forward to the changes that she's going to hopefully, work on the team, to bring to all of you. So that's great and exciting. And again, thank you to the residents that helped us with the selection process. We are still actively and aggressively trying to find a front of the house dining room manager for independent living. It's been a struggle. It's been a struggle since Raz left, who was the prior general manager of the dining room. And if you know anyone that might be a dining room manager candidate or might be interested, please let us know. Obviously, it's a critical component to our service, and it's something that we're still working on. But yes, please definitely, let us know if you have any candidates or send them to apply online. It's quite simple on our website. So I think that's all I wanted to cover for today. I will be back in the office, as I said, tomorrow, and I will see you all then. Thank you.